I'm very sure both teams will bring us very exciting games on the screen.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm leaning towards Corvinus and Scatterbrained's team, um, like their matchup, just because Corvinus had signed up for a couple of our events, but then always wasn't able to actually join. And so I'm actually excited to see him finally play in one of our events. And so I mean, so far they had a good run. They won 2-0, and now it's in their second series in the semifinals already. So and the game is already on the way, so we can hit it without any delay. That always feels very, very nice. I just invited you to the group, and once you accepted that, we can move
So is
into
it
it.
because you have the draft link here shown? Is it the first game? I'm not sure. Is it the
I'm
first one, right?
pretty sure that's the first one. I would be, yeah, that's it. Like from
Okay.
the drafts from the chat, it must be the first one. And so, ooh, that's oh my good. Okay, that's the explosive Civ draft here for sure. What they're playing this game. Um, a lot of cavalry civs actually. Okay, let's not further delay that and move right into it, and then you'll see what I mean with explosive matchup. Um, there it is. I think we're gonna see a lot of horses on the field.
Yes. Or maybe, I mean, Knights. We have House of Lancaster, we have Knights Templar, French, and JD. I wouldn't be surprised if Scatterbrained is going for more for range here in
Hmm.
this scenario, like we saw on Enlightened Horizon, the matchup today with Knights Templar and Rus together, where Knights Templar went focus on Archer and Feudal, or
Mm.
general on the range, especially also because if Knights Templar is going for the infantry comp here, they have the sergeant age up where you gain 20 percentage to melee infantry or to infantry, something like this.
10%, yeah.
Uh,
10%
10
extra damage.
percent. Uh, yeah, 10% extra damage was it? Okay. So and since French is the bigger brother of the Knights Templar, by the way, Knights Templar also called as variant of French. So we see two
Hmm.
French variants and one main French in this matchup. That's an addition I would expect. Scatterbrained is going for range, but also it wouldn't be very surprising for me if both going fully on Knights to gain map control, especially once Corvinus is trying to go for the standard House of Lancaster boom. I
Mm.
mean, he has stone and gold and next to each other. But
Oof.
what are you doing if the double number of knights is diving this position, even though you have a House of a Lancaster
Castle,
castle
yeah.
there? Because there are no garrison places, so no safetiness for those villagers. And if the double numbers of knights diving this spot, echo
Hmm.
damage is very, very high likely.
Yeah, but at the same time, if you can retreat and they lose their knights, then it doesn't feel that bad anymore. It's like it definitely is a good angle of attack. But you do have to be careful that you don't lose your knights because then you have Jeanne d'Arc against you on the other side of the team, and they will just return the favor basically. And if you're getting cut off from the gold, you're in for a rough time. Maybe not as much as Knights Templar, but especially as the French. And gold is outside of your town center, so you kind of need to be careful a little bit. And so not super surprising. We see the Kingdom of France coming up. It would have been fun to see the Knights Hospitaller, but I think if you're not going for a super aggressive feudal all-in or whatever, the Kingdom of France is the long-term, like, smarter move in a sense. And so that doesn't really surprise me. We're not gonna see the 5-minute town center play by Knights Templar, which I'm not sad about. I do not like that build at all. Um, uh, but yeah, and then School of Cavalry, of course, on either side. No surprise there. Um, yeah, so
But
overall,
honestly, there's a disgusting, crazy spot for the second TC for Knights Templar, and it's left of his base with the deer and the boar and the gold together, and
yeah,
a tiny wood line.
and then
Uh,
very like yeah, just oh my god, imagine.
but that's a I don't know what to say. However,
Yeah,
as you said, it's not the 2TC build, it's the Pilger build with the French play. So Knights will be available pretty soon. Or maybe he's going for something different because Pilger and 5 villagers on gold, no production, 5 villagers on wood. Mill gets dropped now. Wood for production building ready in the bank. So is he maybe cooking something like a... Oh no, production is now dropped. It's a barracks.
yeah. I mean, barracks makes sense because if you are facing the Royal Knights,
We see a delayed second TC, obviously.
yeah, I was kind of expecting like at some point you go for a second town center. Um, I mean, or he could just I don't know if he wants to go for fortresses early on. Like I am not 100% sure when is the best or exact moment you wanna like put down the fortresses because they are quite expensive, but they do return the investment eventually, and so I'm not sure about the fortress timing yet, but um, yeah, that's definitely looking like a delayed second town center, and the barracks is just there to make sure that you can deal with the knights. Because yeah, if you're going for the Chevalier Confrère, which is the knight that you can go for in Feudal Age with the Knights Templar, they're not really super strong, and the Royal Knights will completely kill them. And so you can't really go like knight against knight. That doesn't really work that well. And so it does make sense to go for the Spearman Pilgrim. Unfortunately, not making it all the way to the sacred side. I mean, he could always switch it up if he wants to. The other ones are also available. He might go for this one. He doesn't need to in terms of distance. He gets almost a full amount here anyway with either Pilgrim. I like their little sprint when they're getting hit, but yeah, doesn't work.
I feel it pretty disgusting because there are two disadvantages. There are a lot of disadvantages you have fighting a Knights Templar. One of them is you don't know which sacred site the pilgrims go to. You don't know when they start to go there. If you fight Dede, you always know it because you get the hit, the marker or whatever, that the sacred site is getting contested, and then you speed them up when you hit them. I don't know. Because you already have to invest military, but doesn't matter. Don't wanna discuss this by now. We just commentary a game, and we see an interesting decision here by Deniskya, and I'm not sure what I have to think about it. He went straight into Pro Scout without any military on the field. A second stable drop. Meanwhile, Symbol, the mate of Corvinus, went also into Pro Scout, but with the one night opening. So, and now is dealing the deer on side of Scatterbrained, and Deniskya already has a full deer pack under his TC, and now is getting the second one. Two stables live for Symbol, and that's the thing. I'm quite not sure about the situation overall. So this JD French gameplay is kind of weird.
Well,
Because French has the higher villager production, and normally French has the advantage because of the build order, how you build up your landmark, to bring up the military, the knights, earlier than JD does. So you have a knight advantage. But because of the decision Deniskya did, he is not longer in the opportunity to have more knights on the field because he missed the first knight. So Symbol did completely the same, but spent early on one more knight. So theoretically, he should have or could have more knights on the field, and we have 5 against, 5 to 7. So Deniskya is still ahead, and as we was talking before, or sometime a couple of weeks before, in this matchup, it's all about the knight count. Who does have the better knight traits, knight fights, or the higher knight numbers? And normally this team wins. But it's not a second DC; it's an early keep, as you mentioned.
yeah. So yeah,
Interesting.
he went into the fortress, which curious, but I mean, I'm saying curious not in a negative way, because that clearly is very valuable. Securing the sacred site, getting a big stone, a big gold vein, and then just, I mean, in general, like opening the map up a little bit for early aggression, and as a good rally point here overall. And yeah, I mean, it does come, like in a 1v1, it definitely comes down to, okay, who has more knights out earlier, or who can have the better trades. In a 2v2, I'm not as sure about that, because like Knights Templar, they can just keep cooking. Now there is a second town center, so like, yeah, heavily delayed, but that is gonna be very valuable. Knights picking off one of the scouts here at least, so a little bit of value besides scouting out the town center. But overall, I mean, I think KT is already in a very strong position. I mean, not saying that, you know, Jeanne d'Arc and House of Lancaster are sleeping or anything, but I mean, House of Lancaster went for 9 manors already, so and is now moving into Castle Age. So overall, a very strong situation for Corvinus for sure, and now can move heavily into military as well. Um, but in general, I mean, Knights Templar is looking good right now.
Yeah, I mean, income by Knights Templar is... Yeah, he has to catch up. House of Lancaster is definitely ahead in wood income because of the manors. Food income, food-wise, it's interesting that JD is ahead, not French, or it's just jumping from one to the other. They changed the best income spot quite a lot, and now JD looks like he what do I say? Do I pronounce it? However, JD is taking the better fights in night to night face-offs. Gold of JD gets pressured by French, but it looks like he managed it to do not lose any wool, but kill 2 or 3 enemy knights. Meanwhile, KT is walling the left side of the map, likely, or somehow close to whatever. The big wall to the border still not started, but all those tiny walls between until the second keep dropped off. So not only he's securing space on the map, also he's reaching or improving his numbers of pilgers. So he, as you said, gets paid off. So if we count it resource wise, it's 900 resources. So after the ninth mint, 7 minutes, something like this, because 130 gold. So between 5 and 9 minutes, depending on the distance which the pilgers takes, according to resources, the keep pays off because of the pilgers. So kind of interesting shows. So let's say Knights Templar is going heavy greedy. Meanwhile, House of Lancaster is going heavy greedy. And Deniskya, so French and JD, they do the feudal fights and face-offs. And now Demolancers are on the field. And also the first archers running on the field. French can age up soon. He gets the reminder. Also JD. JD is not aging up soon, but a little bit off macro it looks like. A lot of food, not that much of gold. And yeah, raid is coming in.
Yeah,
Or push.
raid is coming in. Demi-Lancers are being veteran units, so they are not. I mean, they're still not super strong, but it's fine. They're veteran units and quite cheap to get as well. Where is okay? I'm wondering. Deniskya needs to run back to this spot here. Symbol is just running in and just torching the town center. He doesn't care. So yeah, Scatterbrained doesn't really have a response to that. Is gonna lose this town center for sure. That it doesn't feel good. And now pilgrims are in trouble. This is, I don't know, like this feels like a little bit of an oversight here. He's walling it in again, so hopefully Symbol and Corvinus are kind of trapped in the base here. But ooh, if you're losing that Templar headquarters, say goodbye to the pilgrims.
They have big trouble here. I mean, they won't kill the TC, and here's the reason why. French hits HL, castle. All those 20 knights are castle knights, and royal bloodlines 50% in. So this amount of knights, I would expect beat both armies here. The JD Knights and also the Demolancers and the Archer together, because not only it's Castle Knights, also 4 French Knights more than JD Knights, and JD Knights, quarter of them, so 5 or 6 are half HP, meanwhile the French Knights are full HP. So in a straight up fight, this is a disaster for Team Corvinus. But Deniskya, he was moving forward, moving backwards, moving forward, moving backwards. I'm not. Wait, when did JD hit castle? Because his knights are already castle as well. So now it's a different situation. Now it's very even, and JD is in the fight. So I'm not sure if French will take the fight right now. I would say he wouldn't. And ooh,
Yeah, look
Corvinus
at
is doing it. Corvinus is doing it.
Yeah, he
said,
doesn't want to have those fortresses there anymore.
He says, "You build keeps. Doesn't matter. I have manners. I have infinite amount of wood. I drop rams."
Yeah. Yeah, this is ooh, look at that synchronized shot. Very nice, catching a couple of the crossbows here. Villagers being pulled to repair the fortress, but I don't think that's gonna be there in time. There's still 6 rams on there, heavy at work, and meanwhile they are sniping the villagers, so that's definitely a fortress being lost. And knight numbers for Deniskya still looking okay, but kind of difficult to get on top of the yeoman. There's still a couple of knights from Jeanne d'Arc, and now he's losing the production here. So this is a lot of value and a lot of damage that Symbol and Corvinus can find. And I'm really shocked in a sense how quickly this game has turned from a position where, you know, KT is dropping like one fortress after another and it's looking fine, to okay, they just lost the second town center, so their eco is down to even Stevens, and now he's losing a fortress, losing the military production. And Corvinus is Symbol looking really strong here, just keep pushing in. Rams having trouble to get to the siege workshop. Oh, another synchronized shot, hitting a couple units, but not as much as they were hoping for. Yeah, this is rough. This is really rough.
Yeah.
Not to mention that none of the sacred none of the relics have been picked up by now. None of the sacred sites are captured, so um, there's like in terms of gold, passive gold income, that's not looking too great here. Um, this is rough. This is really rough. I mean, how do you deal with all those yeomen and crossbows?
You can't. Also, I don't see how. Except that Deniskya as French is now doing a nice raid, but here comes the other disadvantage thing, and we talked about timings after the last game quite a bit. JD has a big advantage once you reach a specific time in the game against French, and this is the echo cost, the food cost, because of the concentration.
Yeah.
So French is now doing a farm transition, and just 2 minutes before, something like this, he was empty of food. And JD is it now. Until now, he had like 8 builds still on deer under TC because of the food situation. Each night JD is producing, he saves 35 food, or pays 35 food less than French is doing. And also French is producing villagers faster, so he needs way more food to sustain the same amount of military than JD is doing. And we are now 20 minutes in the game. We are talking about a lot of nights which were produced, like 20, 30, something like this. So he saved 1k food already according to production, and this is a shit ton of resources he saved and could then reinvest into further production. So JD, according to Echo, once he is behind in villages, 62 to 76. Yeah, but he's paying less. So I would say the eco situation of JD is quite better than for French. French dropped the keep, but still not have the tech for reduced production costs around the keep. So, he has, because of Royal Institute, I'm sorry. Wait.
Yeah,
Am I stupid?
Well, he doesn't have the one that.
Oh no, yeah.
Yeah.
The edition one, right? He has is already 20%.
Yeah, he doesn't have the additional one. He generally gets the discount, but that's gonna be a thing of the past. Very Oh, I mean, actually, it's only round ram. Okay, he will save that keep. That's at least something, but that is a very difficult situation. KT losing access to the farms here as well, and by the way, I'm shocked. Like just a minute ago, the only production buildings that that KT still had was like 1 barracks, and now he added a couple of archery rangers. So basically, the 5% gold decrease in cost was of no use to him for most of the game so far, and so that feels very rough to not really like benefiting from your age up choice. And there's so many villagers on the run here for Deniskya, which they're not only on the run, they will like if the Yeomen pursue, they're just so like barely faster than the villagers. They would eventually catch up to them.
Wait, yeah, don't miss the mangonel costs.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you do benefit from that as well.
So, and they are heavy in resources, 300 wood, and it should be the 190. Should be. I'm quite not sure. Is it 250 or something like this for Requiem La Mangonel? I don't know, but
yeah, I think it is.
So if the game plan since the beginning, since you know House of Lancaster is going for range, units because of the archer and the synchronized shot, adding some crossbows maybe. You decide to go for siege, and I think the siege workshop were dropped quite early. This is a very smart decision by Scatterbrained. Very smart tactics here to go for the 20 or for the gold saving production age up, and then go into castle to produce siege, especially mangonels, because wood echo is quite good. And saving gold, meanwhile you get a good amount of gold once you set up your pilgers, and he is still pilgering. That's a smart tactics overall, and a good counter for House of Lancaster. Huge.
Oh my goodness, that was that was almost game ending. Like that was an insane synchronized shot by Corvinus here, really well played. Meanwhile, that definitely is a gone keep. And this is just a lot of the production from Deniskya. If he's losing access to that, then there's also his main town center. He did go for a second one. Meanwhile, Symbol is also raiding his back. This is a very brutal and aggressive push here by Corvinus and Symbol, and at least Corvinus, if we're looking at resources, he's floating. He can produce even more if he puts down more production, or he can stop a little bit or slow down a little bit and then hit Imperial if he wants to. But I think they're looking to end the game right now. Actually, 5 Rams on the keep, on the town center. Yeoman just camping the town center and the production. I don't think that there is a way for Scatterbrained and Deniskya to come back from this. Deniskya Scatterbrained did add a couple more fortresses, so he's up to 3 again, which would be 4 pilgrims currently for him every minute, but you need a little bit more than gold to win if you're in a situation like this here.
Yeah, I mean, French dropped the second TC, already started trading with couple one up to 9, so not too much, but I mean, better than nothing. And I think I saw, yeah, he already had the imp upgrade for traders, so traders getting +1 gold every second, every 6 seconds, so this way. So I'm mixing up German words. I'm getting tired, sorry guys. Sure, he is echo-wise not dead, but he can't catch up military again, and JD is farming mangonels. Now Knights reinforcement by JD are in the way. JD gets level 4, and yeah, this normally is a GG call, I'd say, because what you want to do against this mess of backline range units with crossbow, and here we have the GG by the team. What was the team name? Sorry, Expedition 33. Yeah, Expedition 33. So, I mean, House of Lancaster, I struggle against them still a lot. There is an opinion, if House of Lancaster is going for a boom, you have to boom yourself, like 2TC or something. But in my personal opinion, limited by my skill and stuff like this, House of Lancaster always feels to me like an Abbasid boom.
Yeah.
You can't catch up with this echo because the timing is so fucking insane. Combined with the demo lancers, which are fielded without any production needed and stuff like this. So I think and I feel you have to pressure anyhow House of Lancaster early on, do some damage, maybe not the manners, but somehow damage, blocking wood, blocking food, external food, or stuff like this. Because once they start rolling, it's hard to get rid of it, and especially in this combination with JD, which has also a kind of natural echo advantage over time once JD does not die and you have the concentration. I think also, and the matchup showed us, the passive income, the good wood income, and the better French villager production is not enough to catch this up. And GG, nice game, but I have to say, I liked the idea, and I would say it was intended by Scatterbrained to go into the siege gameplay with the 20% gold discount. And smart idea, very smart idea, because when you let House of Lancaster boom, you have to do something against this backline ball, and what is better than siege?
Yeah, the only issue with that is you have to defend your siege, and with the synchronized shot, that has a huge range that can kind of snipe the siege, potentially at least. And then if you mow over all of that with your 25 or whatever Royal Knights from your mate, then it is very, very tricky. So um, I feel like in a 1v1 situation, I don't struggle against House of Lancaster. But in a 2v2, they are super, super, super difficult to deal with. And I as well had games where I was playing House of Lancaster in a team game, and it felt easy. I don't know, like it was like I can boom. I'm not really super vulnerable. I don't really need to go out on the map super early. Um, and as long as not I'm not focused by a couple of my opponents at the same time, I'll probably be fine. So definitely very strong Civ and very well executed by Corvinus and Symbol. So very very strong game, strong opening to this best of three. So the first game going over to their favor. The next game is already on the way as well, so we can jump back right into that one as well. With the next civs. Oof. Okay, so we finally see water lanes coming up.
Oh, it's getting hot. It's getting hot. So we see it starting 1v1, and then maybe one is dying on the one team and one is dying on the other team, and then we see cross-playing. Or I don't.
Yeah,
I'm excited to see. I'm
really.
excited to see what the guys here are cooking. We see Rus and China against Byzantine and Ottoman again.
Yeah. So let's start it off here. Deniskya playing the Rus in blue on the left side, on the south left side, and on the other side, on the northern side, Scatterbrained playing the Chinese, opening with the mill as we usually see. So that could potentially be a pro scout, although I guess on a map like Water Lanes, it is a little bit weird to go for pro scouts because you can't like it's only your side that's available to you. So maybe not opening with the pro scouts. Maybe he will. I guess we have to find out about that. Corvinus playing on the other side of Scatterbrained in this 1v1 jousting field water lane situation and playing the Ottomans didn't open with the military school, so is not looking for the military school opener as of yet. And symbol the Byzantines. So let's see. Okay, there's this. Okay, yeah, also opening with the stone, one villager on stone, so not a. Well, I guess this one might go over at some point. Um, but yeah, okay, let's
No, he's
see.
still staying one on stone.
I mean,
He's staying with one on stone.
yeah, I mean, we've seen both. We've seen like one villager on stone or two. Deniskya has scouted out that the Byzantine is on his side, so he knows. Okay, Rus against Byzantines and Chinese against Ottomans. Um, do you favor any of those matchups? Do you have a favorite there, or is it kind of like, yeah?
So since and because of Ottoman is handled as a slower Civ,
Hmm.
To me, it's always feels because people play feudal aggression without military schools, and it feels always rough. But however, overall, Ottoman is called more like a slower Civ, and Chinese is a very fast Civ, I would say. Or not is a very fast Civ, but Chinese has the potential to be very fast, to bring shit ton of unit on the field in a certain amount of time. So, and because of this, Scatterbrained has an opportunity to pressure Corvinus quite fast. But on the other side, we saw Corvinus playing Lash with Ottoman against Delhi, and there was a thing he as Delhi couldn't do anything really, because if he masses infantry, there's bring its free siege. If he masses backline, archer stuff like this, there's free mangonels. If he masses cavalry to get rid of the siege, there are Yanicharis. So, and China is known as a transition into stable units. Once they hit castle, they can do something else for sure, but the last days they mostly go into a castle transition into stable units. So don't underestimate Ottoman. Meanwhile, I think speed-wise, Chinese is favored. On the other side, we have Rus and Byzantine, and honestly, I don't know. Because of the cistern situation and the cistern strategy, that you gain echo boost that early on if you manage it, I have no clue. If you would ask me last season, I would say definitely Rus.
Yeah.
But here, this season, I don't have any clue. No idea.
Yeah, I mean, definitely, I would agree. Like last season, I would also, as a Byzantine main, I would say that Rus is the clear favorite. In season 10 with the nerf pro scouts, it's kind of rough to say. I mean, we have one big deer pack next to each player, then there's a smaller one with 3, and then like it's replicated on the other side as well. And so definitely Pro Scouts doesn't feel as great, especially because the big one you can basically already push in your town center, and we've seen that with Symbol has done that. We've seen that with Corvinus has done that. Scatterbrained has done that to an extent. Deniskya has done it as well. Although it kind of looks like he might go for Pro Scout because he didn't push him in that far. I don't know like if that's like the thought behind it, but he's on 3 scouts. He might go Pro Scouts. I wouldn't be surprised. With the eco advantage, he can, if he uses the Golden Age, like yes, it is not like the faster gather rate like the Byzantines have with the Cistern, but that also can be a very nice eco boost that you can get. And so I don't think that like Rus definitely is not at a disadvantage, I would say. Pro Scouts has been researched, so yeah, he's picking it up right now.
But that's surprising to me. He went Pro Scout because of the overall amount of deer we have here. So he can take 3 deer. So math-wise, he is in this case he is from his opponent. Math-wise, he is 6 deer ahead, you could say. But this is like 2 regular spots on a normal map. And I'm not sure if this is really worth it according to the invest you do, resource-wise. Because, yeah, it's only 3 deer. Only. It's 1k food, sure. But this, according to the Byzantine Echo, which is not that much addicted to deer, and because of the sister network and the oil and stuff like this, so I wouldn't be surprised if this is a failed investment, according to speed and all the other stuffs. But he already hits castle. Castle is dropped. High trade house, 7 minutes, and And what we didn't talk about, I mean, the wood line is kind of insane.
Mm-hmm.
Nearly, I wouldn't say 50%, but 40% of his influence area. Wait, 40% or something like this is wood. So this will be a huge gold buff, huge gold income.
Yeah, that's definitely gonna be a nice, very very nice gold income. So the thing with the Pro Scouts, I think there's a couple things that make it special or unique because of its ruse. Like it also provides gold, so basically the gold that you had to spend to go for Pro Scouts, you already get that back by going for the deer. It is a very fast resource that you get, and so it is also kind of valuable to, like, basically trading gold for food, but at a quick rate. And you can get, like, even a deer from your opponent, you can still get that realistically, at least a lot of them. And so overall, I think it, like, for Roos, it still makes sense to go for Pro Scouts just because they get gold by going for the deer, so it's kind of like, you know, this interesting hunting mechanic that the Roos have. And so I do understand that, and I don't think he over-invested into that with only like 2 additional scouts. And so I think he'll be fine, and he'll be in his base. He is basically not raidable, especially not with the Keshik, Feudal Age Keshik from Symbol. And so Deniskya will be fine. I do worry a little bit about Scatterbrained, actually. He also
Yeah.
went fast castle with the astronomical clock tower. So no Barbican right now that would save him. No Song Dynasty as well. And his opponent is pressuring. Corvinus is knocking at his door, building a couple ramps. Doesn't have too many units on the field, but this is more than 0. So he's up against 0. There's one stable right now, so we see the classic Chinese Lancers coming up. But you just need to have a couple of spearmen, and then you will be okay against the Lancers.
Oh, but this is a big surround here by Scatterbrain. 4 Lancers from the front, 3 from the back. The Imams do quite a good heal. No unit died on side of Corvinus yet, but first Imam is dead. Now Sipahi is dying. Second Sipahi close to die. Is it Sipahi killing the knight at first? He killed the knight at first, but trades in disadvantage to Corvinus, and Corvinus is withdrawing with his army and lost his healing units and nearly his full army. And looking to Deniskya, I mean, so this was a really very solid save here by Scatterbrain. Now he has to be careful not to overextend quite a bit because there are still spears on the field, and even though they are castle knights, also feudal spears, if they reach a critical mass, can damage castle knights very hard. So, but looking to the other side, Deniskya has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 deer under TC, something like this. Okay, yes, his high trade house, gaining deer over time, so each 60 seconds, something like this. But he's still on level 1 bounty, close to level 2 quite soon. Okay. 11 minutes in the game. Symbol himself is on level 4 this turn, getting the second patch of berries, has the tower closed there to cover it, and Deniskya does not get any control of his side, and I would expect, wouldn't be surprised if he does not gain control at all, because he's running out of food anytime because of the less amount of deer. And this is what I meant with might be a timing issue, because also if Rus gets 4 deer packs on a classical map, there is a point, there's a timing point, he runs out of food. And if we look at the military count, even though he lost some, he's on 8 horse archers. Meanwhile, Symbol is on 8 Keshiks and 6 horsemen. 12 minutes into the game, so something 3 minutes after aging up, I would expect way more horse archer on the field, and food situation looks not that great. He's losing control of his side.
Yeah.
He could invest this units or this resources instead of going pro scout to go into military early on or something like this. Now he's adding spear to get control or rid of the numbers of units Symbol has, and Symbol himself is also is already casted. So I would say Rus is in a way worse spot than China right now.
Yeah, I mean, Scatterbrained did an incredible job with the surround, with moving around the army. He did it twice now, and basically both times completely wiped Corvinus's army. Corvinus is now scrambling to go up to Castle Age himself, but if Scatterbrained would want to commit, he probably could kill a couple villagers, and then you're in this awkward position as Ottoman that you're like, okay, I do have passive production, but I also lost a couple villages, and so I kind of need to go for a second town center and maybe use the Vizier Point Pax Ottomana to get some a couple more minutes to have some increased villager production. And that, I don't know, like that usually doesn't feel too great. Lancers in the base here need to be careful. Corvinus needs to be careful here to not lose against his army while he's, you know, trying to get his upgrades in. So yeah, China definitely in a good position, and Byzantines not in a bad position. So might actually be that like either side is losing, like either player is losing one side, like either team rather.
Yeah, and then the interesting part of this map is gonna start. Who is supporting which side at first? But I mean, we are still far away from this because still on both sides, people are alive and have production, echo units still untouched and stuff like this. So I wouldn't say, we see some favorites, but in the end it's not fully decided or whatever. But Ram is dropped by China on the north side against Corvinus, now hitting the first military school, and once the military school gets damaged or even destroyed, this is huge damage you can do to an Ottoman guy because of the cost of military schools. I mean, they cost 150 wood and 100 gold. And they are part of their strengths in mid-game into late game because of the passive production. And the army combination with all these archers and the lancers against Corvinus's combination with Sipahis and spears is respectable. So Corvinus is in some trouble now. His units has veterancy, so the spears at least. The Sipahis are already veterancy. He tried to chase the lancers away, but 2 military schools down. Third one will die pretty soon. So rough spot. First Mongol on the field. This might change something, especially against the backline once he's fighting under TC with the spears together. But Scatterbrained, I mean, he knows the situation obviously, and he's roaming. Meanwhile, the steam is going hot, so Symbol is rallying all his production into the base of Deniskya, and he added a bunch of archers, so he has a kind of hard counter to the horse archer and the barracks unit spears. Nearest player added in against all these horsemen, so better combination, army combination by Byzantine right now.
Yeah, I mean the thing is, you can see that Corvinus is pretty much losing his side here. He did lose a lot of military production. Also pretty genius by Scatterbrained to first go for the blacksmith to just decrease the speed of which the military schools and the other military production buildings produce, and so it is looking bad for Corvinus, and that's why Symbol needs to really put down a lot of aggression here, and he needs to make it work, because if you lose one side hard and the other side is kind of getting lost or being lost, yeah, that's basically game over here. Corvinus is set up a dock here, actually moving over a couple of villages. Oh, that's so smart. I mean, okay, he's losing a couple villagers, but he will make it out alive, so he will save a couple villagers, but that actually might mean that he was completely losing this side of the map, which, I mean, not to mention that you're losing all what they have always already invested, but also the landmarks. I mean, this can't feel good. Like, completely surrendering that side of the map.
Yeah, and not only losing the landmarks, losing the full base. It's not solved what's happening on the other side of the map. So there were added some men-at-arms by Rus now, and the army of Symbol is getting pushed back. So quite a good spot for Rus now, or overall for the whole team. But talking about losing, giving up the north side of the map, or one side of the river, it's China, and China now has free access to 2 big wood lines, 2 big golds, 2 big stones,
Yeah.
and yeah, we all know what happened if a China player can boom into the late game full and hard.
Yep.
You don't want to have it. So, however, it looks like there's a good cleanup, and I did not expect it something like this cleanup by the Rus army. How he cleaned up the Byzantine army, and Corvinus called it. So I'd expect the call by Symbol as well, and I obviously was wrong. So Rus managed to defend his base very smart, very good, and push back Byzantine. And here we have the 1-1, right?
Yeah, that's right. And the thing is, I think that because Corvinus was losing his side, Symbol had to be a lot more aggressive and like careless almost in pushing into the space, because while he was fighting with the walls, and the Rus have some very strong palisade walls, all the horse archers could fire away on his units, and so I think he lost a lot of his units without really gaining anything. And then when it came to a straight up fight, then it was just so many units on the Rus side, and he wasn't able to bleed him out. Even though he was containing him in his base, apparently, obviously, he didn't run out of food yet. Um, and so, yeah, so Deniskya was able to hold. He did lose a lot of units, but at the same time, he didn't lose as many as Symbol did. And at that point, Corvinus basically already being dead. Um, no coming back from that at all. So yeah, Corvinus.
We see a third map, right?
Yes. Let us switch back into the lobby for just a second. And they should already be on the way, because we're a little bit late behind them, so technically they should already have started it. So I'll invite you, and then we can just look for the game
Invitation.
right away.
Can you read right? Because
Yeah, sure.
I hear. Oh, there it is. There it
There
is.
it is.
Crazy sometimes.
Crazy.
What's this last map we gonna see?
Ooh, the last map is Enlightened Horizon. So
Oh yeah.
one more of these, please.
Ooh,
Uh,
ooh.
well, I guess you're not as happy as I am.
Oh no, I'm looking to the draft. I'm looking to the draft, and I see Ayyubids and Abbasid against Chushi and Japanese.
Yeah, seems about right.
And I'm not sure. I don't know Ayyubids and Abbasid as a Dark Age favorite civilization. Meanwhile, Shushi in Japanese, according to Shushi in Japanese has the cheaper barracks, and you can say mounted samurai in Dark Age. I'm not sure if you wanna count them as an advantage, but definitely the cheaper racks. And Juji has the production speed advantage once he's supervising the racks. So that was the reason of my reaction. I don't know. I see definitely a favor, Scatterbrained and Deniskya in favor in this matchup because of the Sith situation. Score, it's 1-1 Goldkowski. So, yeah, that's why I'm a little bit, struggling myself. On the other side, Japanese with the fast castle into mounted samurais, Abbasid and Ayyubids because of the camel units as a counter to these units, because of the debuff maybe. So once Corvinus and Symbol is surviving the early game and somehow even out the Dark Age, or maybe leading the Dark Age, it might be a different spot, but first of all, they have to handle this one. And I'm not sure if they can because of the civilizations on paper. Let's say it, on paper.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I agree. On paper, it definitely seems that the very, very early game, Dark Age and all that, is favoring especially Japanese, but also Jushi's Legacy, or at least not disfavoring Jushi's Legacy. But I would say the longer the game goes, the better Ayyubids and probably especially Abbasid should feel. Um, and so I'm not like, in a sense, I'm not worried about them. I'm sure they are aware of that potential problem, and I am really excited to see what they have in store, what they're planning to do about it. Because yeah, like I said, like I don't think they will be surprised by what's happening, at all.
But I'm surprised what's happening here right now. Because Deniskya decided to go only for one
Mm.
resource point and then straight up to the top for the gold, for the pit. So, meanwhile, Corvinus decided to go for his resource point, the opponent's resource point in front of the base, now taking
And the top one.
their own second one and the top one, but Spearman is moving backwards. This Spearman is losing this fight. 4 spears against 2, but 3 of those 4 spears are already hit. Now the reinforcement is coming in. So, and now Corvinus has the opportunity to keep the Japanese units on the field, meanwhile controlling 3 spots and get their spot, their wolf, how is it called? Wolf's Pit?
The wolf
I
den.
think Wolf's Pit?
Yeah.
Or Wolf Den? Wolf Den, okay, Wolf Den.
Wolf den.
And if he can manage this, the team of Corvinus is definitely in an advantage situation. Now military split, so we shortly seen 5 against 2 spears, 2 spears retreating, trying to capture the spot in front of the base, but it's a 5 spear situation, but Corvinus spears have more life overall, so I don't know. Fine. 100 gold, 150 gold, but 15 gold per minute times 3 is what, 45 per minute. So after 3 minutes, something like this,
Mm.
it's it pays off that Corvinus decided to go for the passive resources, not for the wolf den.
Yeah, and so I actually think that Deniskya is now looking to get the wolf den instead, and that surely feels nice. I mean, taking 150 gold that your opponent will never get, definitely a great thing. But if I would have to, like completely trade and be like, okay, do I want to take the passive income or do I want to take the gold that I get now once and that's it? I'd probably choose the passive one also because like we've seen in an earlier fight, like you have all the spearmen, but they're all like almost dead, and so they're not as valuable in a straight up fight. And so by going for the wolf, then you kind of put yourself in an in a difficult position to if you then after that want to fight someone. Symbol in the meantime is going for a second town center, so we haven't really checked in what he went for. Okay, he went for the Eco Wing Classic, going for a second town center. Not looking for a third one right now. Is off stone completely. So not heavily investing into that boom. Is just going for a second town center. Ayyubids on the other hand is looking for the dervishes. Okay, so some very nice heal coming up. But is also heavily pressured here by the Shuganu. So Jushi's Legacy immediately moving into the Shuganu after the age up. Also going for an outpost here, which will be some nice advantage for him, both in terms of, I guess, offense and defense. I mean,
Losing
no.
the first dervish immediately
no.
hurts.
Oh, that must feel so bad.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I think Corvinus is kind of caught off guard with his mate because it's a. I don't remember when I saw such a aggressive Shuji early game last time, but because of the decision Symbol goes second TC, Corvinus is fighting Dark Age against Japanese to contest the resource points of interest. Corvinus is delayed in feudal and he's kind of stuck in military production with spears, which get countered by Zuganus, so this is
this is
not good at all.
really no, this is really difficult. And I mean, this feels like every game I play against Jushi's Legacy is that they just move into 20 Shuganu, then add maybe a couple spearmen and then 5 rams and I die. So I could definitely tell you when the last time I seen this. But it's probably more like gold or platinum, the kind of level play, I guess. And so maybe that's the reason why that actually kind of surprised Corvinus a little bit. And yeah, he's a little bit left alone in a sense. It's like his opponent, like his teammate, is a little bit like, yeah, I went for 2 sound centers. You have fun down there. I'll help you in 10 minutes if you survive that long. So that is very difficult. A very difficult position for him. He is moving up to the castle age now with the Eco Wing. So that will help him to catch up a little bit, but it might end up that he reaches castle age and then dies. Because right now Scatterbrained is keeping on the aggression here, is going for some rams. And that could, I mean, if he hits the production here from Symbol, that could be very tough to recover from that. If at all possible, in a sense.
Yeah. So, and the meditation garden by Chushi, I mean, he gets 50 gold per minute, so each minute he has a tower on the field with these hand cannon emplacements. So, and you see Chushi is doing is dropping tower by tower by tower, blocked the 2 wood lines or blocked both Corvinus wood lines, now kind of blocking Symbol's wood line, is soon blocking or dropping a tower on the last wood line, and with all these towers they have vision about the berry patches, which are so up. I don't like to call a game too early or something like this, but according to the situation, I don't see how Corvinus and Symbol is coming back or have a comeback potential. I mean, one Symbol is pumping villages, okay, because it's kind of close or kind of safe. They don't have access to resources. That's the problem.
Yeah, that definitely is an issue. Corvinus are now reaching castle age, so now the barracks would technically be really good for him because he can go for the gulams. If if he has the resources for that, he doesn't really have the food right now, and it's the towers. They're super good, as you mentioned with the meditation gardens. You I mean, this is insane. Like the meditation gardens with the gold and the 2 stones is basically that alone is providing an arrow, a cannon, hand cannon placement every single minute. So it makes sense to go for the towers. You also have insane vision over everything that's going on. If needed, you can also garrison a couple units to maybe save them in the short term. And with the Rams, you can just go down and mow down everything. And I don't know if there's any way to come back. Like I said, I don't like calling games early. I have the same feeling, but I do call games when I don't think that it's winnable anymore. And I think if I would be either Corvinus or Symbol's position, I might call it at this point. Be like, you know what? It was not the greatest decision, maybe.
Hold your horses, hold your horses. Somehow Corvinus had enough food to drop already 5 gulams on the field. They're fighting the horsemen, 4 left, still some in queue. Okay, they're dropping on 2. I think the critical mass of man-at-arm could not be brought on the field or produced. Few villagers now idle, fighting the horsemen in the south of the map, so my hold your horses call might be a bit too early.
No, but I mean,
because soon there's the last tower is set up and soon there's a hand cannon in placement, so Corvinus called it.
There it is. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, like, I was like, okay, if someone can do it, I'm sure Corvinus can, because he's a really good player, and like he's been in some crazy situations before where he somehow managed to get out. But Scatterbrained and Deniskya are playing this really well, some very good aggression, very early on, and I think this is one of the situations where the Ayyubids one-dimensional, I just go fast castle, didn't really pay off. I mean, just imagine the same situation, but he had like, I don't know, 5 desert raiders and 5 horsemen instead of being castle age. It would have been a different situation against the Chugunu.